So maybe you're a seasoned witch already, or you're witch curious but not really sure where to dive in. If you fit into either of these two categories, taking up a witchy hobby is definitely for you, and you're going to want to stay tuned. From feeding your spirit to learning new skills, up-leveling your practice, and adding some extra magic into your day, there are so many reasons for starting a new magical hobby, and the spring is just the season to get started. Hello pixie dolls, welcome back to my channel. If you're into magical living, holistic wellness, and spiritual growth, be sure to stay tuned and also hit subscribe down below so you don't miss any upcoming videos. Spring is a season of renewal, growth, refreshing, setting new intentions, ushering in fresh new energy, and it's such a great time to start new projects, learn new skills, and yes, start new hobbies. Hobbies really play a huge role in our overall wellness. They give you an outlet for creativity, an outlet where you can just have fun and enjoy yourself, an outlet where you can open your mind and learn new things. So they really do add so much joy and playfulness into our lives, but they also have a lot of other benefits that aren't just about fun. Hobbies help us to relax, they help us relieve stress, they help us open our mind and learn new things. They allow us to connect with other people and give us an outlet for our creativity, which so many of us need and don't get on a regular day-to-day basis. They're also an outlet for personal growth, and they help us feel more confident and really feed us on a holistic level. Taking up hobbies that help you expand your mind and connect with your spiritual self, connect with your inner magic, and benefit your witchcraft practice as well can be deeply fulfilling. That's why in today's video, I'm sharing 5 witchy hobbies to help you feel inspired, help you feel connected to yourself and to nature, and the fresh energy of the spring season, and just at your most magical. So grab your favorite beverage. I've got my coffee as usual. Get a comfy seat and let's dive in. Hobby number 1, herbalism. So spring is the season where nature is waking up from her winter slumber. There's life springing up all around us, which makes it the perfect time to embrace our inner green witch and learn about herbs and all the magic that they hold. Plants and flowers are full of so much energy, so much magical energy, medicinal properties, and can help us in every level of our holistic self, physically, mentally, and spiritually. They can really help you strengthen your connection to nature and nourish your spiritual practice, live more sustainably, and just really support your overall health and wellness. Learning herbalism is really an incredible skill that's going to serve you well in all areas of your life moving forward. So it's a hobby that your future self will thank you for taking up. And your witchy self will also thank you for taking up, because it's going to expand your knowledge and expand the ingredients you can use and the ways you can use herbs and plants in your rituals and spell work. Future you will definitely thank you for this one. So there's so much to learn about herbs and plants, from their life cycles to the medicinal properties they hold, to the energetic properties to hold, to different ways that they can serve you in your practice, and how to grow them and nurture them. We could learn how to dry herbs for spells and rituals. We could learn how to craft our own tea blends. We can learn about the wild plants and flowers in our own area to really connect with our own environment and what we are in touch with every day. And there's so many resources to learn these days. We are in an age where knowledge is readily available and we should take advantage of it. We can buy books, of course, on herbalism or plant magic or green witch books. We can watch YouTube videos on the topics. We could take a course or a workshop online. We could listen to podcasts. You could find a mentor if you're lucky enough to have someone in your area or that you connect with online that you can talk to and learn from. We could go to natural history museums if you are lucky enough to have one in your area. Something else we could do is learn how to grow some of our own herbs and plants. If you have an outdoor space, that's great. If not, you can even start growing things in your kitchen. There's lots of herbs and plants that are easier to grow indoors. Things like bay laurel, basil, these are easy to grow indoors. Growing your own things is really a great place to start. I would recommend on this journey to pick a couple of herbs to start with. Unless you're going to do like a guided course, then obviously you'll follow the way the program is laid out. But if you're learning on your own, I would choose maybe 1 to 3 herbs that you really feel connected with, that you really want to work with, and learn about those first, and then expand your knowledge from there. Trying to learn about every herb all at the same time is just a little bit overwhelming. You're going to learn better probably if you narrow it down and have a focus to start with. Hobby number 2, learn divination practices. I love this one. I love learning about different divination practices. So what is divination? Divination is really a practice of discovering hidden truths, seeking out knowledge of the future events, or gaining clarity on your own path or any certain questions you might have through different omens and knowledge that you use your inner magic to tap into. You tap into what the universe is telling you and signs and messages that are trying to come through the universe, through spirit. If divination is something you're being called to try out or have been curious about before, and you have an area or two you really want to dig in and learn more about, this is a great thing to start this spring. There are also so many different types of divination you could dive into. I would probably recommend choosing one. Choose one to start with. Learn what you can, try some things out, see how it resonates, and then you can maybe move on to a second one. Or maybe there's just one that you really want to get into and you really want to master. It's totally up to you, but I would probably say don't try to learn 5 different ones all at the same time, because then you're probably just going to be dabbling and not really sinking in the knowledge as much as you would if you were more focused. There are so many areas to dive into. You could try reading tarot, you could try scrying, you could learn about astrology or numerology or how to read your birth chart. You could learn how to do tea leaf readings or cast runes. The ones you choose to learn more about are really going to depend on what resonates with you, what piques your own curiosity, and what you feel most drawn to. And if you really aren't sure, you like the idea of divination, but you're not sure where to start, read. I would read about different types and see if there's any that really sticks out to you, if any really call to you intuitively, what you think you'd want to learn first. And just like with herbalism, there's so many ways these days that we can learn about divination. My go-to is books. I love a book. You can highlight things, you can really deep dive into books, but you can also watch videos, listen to podcasts, especially if you're just figuring out which one you really want to dive into, just to get a taste and to learn more about what's involved with them all and what kind of work is necessary to really gain the skill to do it successfully. Something else I would recommend if you're looking to learn more about different divination practices is to really try and get in touch with your intuition, to try and be open and aware of guidance and signs from the universe. Learning divination practices is really something that is also going to help you with these things, like being in tune with your intuition and being more connected. But it also helps to try and deepen that connection as you get started. It's going to make you more successful with divination practices if you are able to really be open to what's around you, be open to energies around you, be open to your inner magic and what it's trying to tell you. And all of that is really also going to strengthen your spiritual practice and help you gain clarity and focus on your life's path and moving forward. And when you develop the skills to practice divination successfully, you're able to interpret these messages and hear these messages with ease, whereas most people, they're just unaware of them. There's always the energy, there's always messages from the universe. Most people just go through their day and they're not in tune with that other layer of what's going on. So when you hone in and really get into learning these different practices, you open your mind, you expand your mind, and it's much easier for you to grasp at these things, to hear them, to call them in, and to discover and be open to everything the universe and spirit is trying to tell you. Hobby number 3, start a grimoire or journal practice. As someone who's a big advocate for writing and journaling and just the clarity and knowledge that writing things out can give to you, I'm a big fan of both of these ideas, grimoire, book of shadows, or a magical journal. If you also like writing out your thoughts and being organized in that kind of way, this one's really going to resonate with you too. So both of these can really help deepen the connection you have with your spiritual practice. They can make you feel more organized in your practice. They're a great way to document your journey of your witchcraft practice or your spiritual practice, from where you're starting to where you're going to go, and let you see how it evolves over time. So it also will help deepen that connection you have to your own intuition, your own thoughts, help you gain clarity, and really help you gain confidence in your mundane life's journey and your magical journey as well. So Grimoire is basically a book where you house all the information about your witchcraft practice. So all the information that has to do with your magical workings, all your spells, your rituals, results of spells and rituals, ingredients that you use. You can have sections for different areas of the craft that you practice. You could have a section for green witchcraft, and a section for kitchen witchery, and a section for astrology, divination. Endless possibilities with how you would organize this book. You could have a physical book or a digital book. And if you already have a Grimoire, the spring is also a great time to give it a refresh, kind of have a look at how it's going, if there's anything you want to add or change, or just revamp to give it that fresh new energy. This can be a really fulfilling practice. It can be a really creative practice with how you put it together and how you do your pages and decorate your book and what you include in it. And if you love organization, you're gonna love this. You can do different sections, you can do different colors and have tabs and all the fun organizational things if that's your jam. That's one thing I really like about it, and it makes you feel really on top of your practice, and it helps you remember what you have done in the past. And if you want to replicate it exactly, you know that the certain ritual is going to be in your grimoire. It's all going to be written out. The ingredients are going to be there. The results from the last time you did it are going to be there, and you can easily duplicate things that worked really well or make changes to some spells or rituals that maybe didn't work quite as well. And yeah, if you want a video dedicated to starting a grimoire, then let me know in the comments, because that would be a fun one to make. Alternatively, you could just have a magical journal or different journals that center around certain spiritual practices in your life. For example, if you don't want to do like a whole grimoire, you could have, say, a journal where you just do shadow work. You could have a journal where you write down your dreams. You could have a journal where you do all your manifestation writing. And you could have all these things. You could have a grimoire and magical journals. Really up to you, whatever calls to you, however much you want to get into it. If you love writing, if you love going internally and gaining new inner wisdom and insights into your life's path, into your practice, if you love getting creative or just being really super organized, these ones are probably going to resonate with you, and I highly recommend you try them out. Hobby number 4, magical baking. If you've been following me for even a minute, you'll know I post a lot about kitchen witchery on my socials. It's a big part of my practice. It's something that holds a very special place in my heart, and magical baking is just a really fun and fulfilling thing you can do on the weekends or in your spare time, or for special occasions and holidays. So if you're someone who loves cooking already, or you already like baking, why not take it a step further and make it an intentional practice, a practice that you do regularly, and that can really help you manifest your intentions. It can help you feel fulfilled and can bring a lot of joy to yourself and also to others if you want to share things. With kitchen witchcraft being such a big part of my practice, from experience, I can say there's something that feels really good about baking a cake that has the intention of love and joy, or baking some oatmeal muffins on a Saturday morning for abundance. It's really an incredibly fulfilling way to connect with the elements, to really connect with earth through your whole food ingredients, to add magic into your daily life, and to help you manifest your intentions through the food you eat, which is just one of my favorite ways to do it. So there's some best practices you might want to think about when you start including kitchen witchcraft or magical baking into your practice. Some top tips that I would give would be to include seasonal ingredients when you can. So use fresh berries in the summer, or use pomegranates in the colder months when they're readily available, pumpkin in the fall. Seasonal ingredients are going to have the most energetic bang for their buck, so to speak. The closer they are to their natural state, to where they come from, the more energetic properties they're going to hold, and the more they'll benefit your recipes. I'd also recommend to use the least processed ingredients possible. Again, closer to the natural state, the more energetic properties they hold. So as an example, I would recommend using maybe date sugar, date syrup, maple syrup, coconut sugar instead of white table sugar, which is by far the most processed of all the sugars and the least natural, and which means it's not going to hold any energy, something like processed white sugar. Energetically, you wouldn't get the benefits from white table sugar as you would get from something like maple syrup or coconut sugar. Another tip, choose ingredients that match your intention. This is with all kitchen witchcraft. So if you're looking to gain more love in your life, for example, I would bake using ingredients that hold that energetic property, things like chocolate, vanilla, or strawberries. So you could also consider doing special bakes that match the different Sabbats in the year if you follow the wheel of the year. So for the spring equinox, Ostara, which is coming up in a couple weeks, you could do something like a lemon loaf. That's one of my favorite things to do for Ostara. Or you could do lavender blueberry muffins for the summer solstice, or pumpkin cookies for the autumn equinox. So there's always traditional foods that go with each turn of the wheel. So using those foods in your bakes around that time just connects you more with nature. It gets you more in tune with the energy of the season that's coming, and it really helps you rein in that new season in a special way. Hobby number 5, witchy crafting. Who doesn't love a little magical crafting in the afternoon, or a little potion making, or a little witchy DIY project? So that's kind of what I mean by magical crafting, and there's so much you can do under the whole DIY umbrella and give them a witchy theme, give them some spiritual purpose. You could do things like make your own face serums with intentions of confidence or beauty. You could craft your own herbal tea blends. If you're studying herbalism, you could put these two together. You could also craft energetic mists and sprays for different intentions. You could have one for cleansing, one for motivation, and you can use these whenever you need a little pick-me-up or whenever your space just needs a little refresh. I have some mists and sprays on hand all the time for these types of uses. You could also do custom bath salts or lotion that you can imbue with different intentions. There's so many reasons why doing your own DIY projects is a good idea. For one, when you're making things for yourself and you can infuse them with your own intentions, it's just one more tool in your witchy toolbox. It's just one more thing you can do to help your manifestations come to fruition. It's also, if you're making something like face serums or creams, bath salts, things you would normally spend money on, you're making them yourself, it's going to work out to be a lot cheaper, so you're going to save money. And making your own things, if they're things you're going to use in your home or on your person, they're going to be a lot more natural and have a lot less unnecessary toxins and chemicals in them than if you were to buy them at the store. Because when you make them yourself, you know every ingredient that's going into it. The same can go for the magical baking, for that matter. Way better to bake your own cookies than buy them from the store, because you know everything that's going in them. So this is going to cut back on the toxic load on your body. Too much toxins in the body can cause energetic blockages, they can cause health issues, all kinds of things. So anytime we can make something for ourselves and decide and choose completely on our own what's going to go into them, it's definitely a bonus. And then you can also craft things with the purpose of using them in your rituals and magical work, like the sprays I mentioned. They're really easy to put together. You can make them for any intention, and you can use them in your practice going forward. You could also do things like candle making and imbue the candles with your different intentions and then use them in your spells and rituals later. So many ideas for witchy crafting. You could do things for the Sabbats as well. You could craft floral wreaths or crowns for things like Beltane. You could do corn dollies around Lunasa. You could do a Bridget's cross around Imbolc. And those are just a few of the ideas. Pinterest is an excellent resource to go if you want to do DIY anything. They have tons of ideas, tons of recipes. My blog has recipes as well for things like sprays or skincare products. If you want to check out the blog, I'll leave the link in the description below. And there's also books. You can buy books on crafting. You can buy books on making your own beauty products or candle making. Watch YouTube videos, podcasts. Like I said earlier in the video, there is just so much knowledge out there that's right at our fingertips. So I don't know how we can't just be all really excited to learn and take on new projects and learn new hobbies that are going to make us feel just excited and joyful and fulfilled. And And that's what I have for you today. 5 different witchy hobbies you can start this spring season. And whether you're drawn to working with herbs or learning tarot or making candles or becoming the best magical baker you can be, the key is to just find something that makes you excited. Find something that brings you joy to think about doing. Find something that is going to fulfill your everyday life as well as your inner spirit and magic, and things that you can make part of your spiritual growth, and things that are going to just help you feel relaxed and inspired and an outlet for creativity. There's so many reasons why you should pick up one of these hobbies this season. I really hope you do. I really hope one of them resonated with you. And if it did, let me know which hobby you're most excited to try, or which hobbies you're most excited to try, or maybe you already have a witchy hobby. Let me know that too in the comments. I always love to hear from you. And if you're still watching, my sincere gratitude to you. Thank you so much for being here. If you did enjoy the video, which I assume you did if you're still watching, please do like and subscribe down below. It helps the channel out so much, and it helps me out so much to be able to just share more and connect more with you all. As always, I will leave the link to my blog and my other socials down below if you want to check them out. And until next time, friends, sending many, many blessings. Bye.